Today, let's talk about a Chevy. So how many of you are familiar with this car here? 55 Chevy Nomad. Probably one of the most iconic wagons that Chevy produced, and a serious improvement over the previous year. But what if I told you that the design and concept that they built for this car in 1954 was actually, at least in my opinion, a little bit better? And I'm surprised that they honestly didn't go with it. Ladies and gearheads, let me introduce you to the 1954 Waldorf Nomad wagon. I'll give you a second to let it soak in. So this version or concept of the Nomad was specifically made for the 1954 Motorama that was held at the Waldorf Astoria in New York in 1954. In 1953, the Motorama at the same location had done very well with sports cars, and Chevy wanted a piece of the action. So the Waldorf Nomad debuted with the two cars underneath it. The car underneath it was known as the 1954 Corvette Corvair. It was a fastback version of the Corvette that never made it into production. The one underneath that is the 1954 Corvette Hardtop. The Roadster did not make that show. Now, as you can see from the back of the car, not much really changed other than some fine lines to make it look more like the Bel Air and the standard model for 1955. They just kind of carved the Corvette out of the car, but they kept the tailgate and the roofline. This was one of the first kind of concept drawings for the car, which actually looked pretty good, and it kind of looked like it had almost a rolled glass in the back, which would have been kind of interesting. Then they moved to something that was more closer to what they ended up actually building as a car, and apparently 5 functional cars were actually built at the time. Now, all 3 cars did extremely well during the Autorama and got huge press that Chevy was really becoming a sports car and a fun, sporty vehicle to own. But ultimately, when it came to the wagon, they decided to go safe and go with the more conventional standard model design. So after Chevy tours the cars, they either do 2 things. They either crush them, or there is information on them either being stored at GM or sold. There's no information about these cars being crushed. Now, 3 of the cars have actually been found, but that leaves 2 of the cars still out there in the wind. And before you get too excited, remember there are a lot of replicas out there. And before you get cocky, this is actually a replica from the early 1970s. Go back and look, the original one didn't have that swoop. Did you catch it before I told you? Lie to me in the comments.